Hey, it's Sarah from Serenity Reiki. It's been a while, but why don't we do Ask a Reiki Master Teacher a Question? We haven't done it in a while. And I've been getting lots of interesting questions this week, but there's one in particular I would like to share with you because it comes up quite a bit. And when you really go past the surface, I think this is a deeper question that will impact all light workers, really, not just Reiki healers. So, okay, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, can you send Reiki healing energy to people without their permission? And on the surface, the quick answer is yes, you can, and if their higher self doesn't accept it, then it won't matter, right? Now, that's the short answer. Now, the deeper answer is, should you send Reiki to people, places, events without their consent? And I think there's more to it than just, their higher self will accept it or not. I think we need to look deeper because one of the hard lessons that spiritual people have to learn is the art of not interfering. Healers, empaths, and highly sensitive people usually have such huge hearts. They're full or overflowing with compassion and empathy. So they're more likely to jump out there and try to help people. But are you actually doing anyone a favor? And I think it's always wise to examine our own motivations as well. Are you sending Reiki because your ego says send it? Are you helping others so you don't have to work on your own issues? Are you going to interrupt someone's lessons? What if you're taking on their karma by interfering? And this is a really tangled subject, isn't it? And you may or may not agree with me, and that's fine. But this is what I've learned over the years, okay? As I said before, if you're an empath or a healer, you've probably come to this path because of your capability to be empathetic, sympathetic, and feel the discomfort and the pain and suffering of other beings. Nobody really becomes a healer because it's a glamorous way to make a lot of money. Okay? You do it because it's a life calling. And it can be really difficult to feel the pain of other people, and especially if it's people you know. But not necessarily. I mean, you can feel the pain or in events across the world. You can feel it in other states, in other countries, after natural events or after some gruesome shooting or something has happened. Or even just the illness of a friend. We can feel it. So that innate feeling to want to help, But yet, we've got to disentangle ourselves from that and disentangle ourselves from the need to fix people or fix situations. Because the truth is, we don't know what another being wants, and it's unhealthy for us to make those assumptions, to even assume that they would want to be healed. And we are interfering with their life lessons and growth, and it's also been my experience that when we do not learn lessons, they become more and more difficult until they're mastered, yeah? So in other words, if something is happening and you see somebody is in the middle of learning a lesson and you interfere because you can and you send them Reiki and you help them through it, did they actually learn the lesson? And if they didn't, will it be harder the next time? And then harder after that and harder after that. So it's a really gray area, isn't it? And I think we can all agree it's difficult to go through the healing process even if you want to do it. Right now I'm teaching a heart chakra class and it's 4 weeks long, and the people that have signed up for the class knew what they were getting into. But we're like on day 3 of it, and the people are already having serious issues come up to be healed, which is great because that's the purpose of the class. But it's still really, really difficult because even though they want it, and they knew that this was probably going to happen, they have to physically do the work. They have to do the healing. They have to go in and change some beliefs and change some habits. So using that as an example, if you don't ask somebody and you just throw them into that whirlwind of healing and having those things come up, yeah, it can be overwhelming. It can really, really knock them for a loop, and it can really interfere with their life. And even though subconsciously we know this, we know that this can happen, it requires the person being ready. Ready to release basically who they were in the past, whether it's habits, core beliefs, or addictions, or whatever it may be that they're holding on to, because all those things form our shield or our reality of who we are. So when you throw that energy on them, and it works because it's supposed to, and it probably will, you may throw them into that spiral of, why is this stuff coming up from second grade? Why am I having issues with people at work? Why am I crying, while driving home? Well, it's because somebody has thrown Reiki on you. Yay! For your highest good. And it's great. But at its core, it's life altering. But once again, it's supposed to be. So honestly, I can say it's not my place to trigger that process for another being before they fully accepted their part in it. So even though we're sitting on the sidelines and we can clearly see that these people are in a downward spiral, or they're doing some things that are going to lead them down the wrong road, all of that also is just judgment. And it's also not up to me to judge other people, right? So yeah, it's really a tangled web. Think about that before you start interfering with other people. And also, it's been my experience, for lasting change to take place, the people have to be ready. And they have to make a decision that this is what they want. And this decision can take place on a subconscious level or a conscious level, either one. They have to be ready, and they have to be ready to let go of the past hurt and trauma and be ready to move forward. It's huge. And also, another big lesson in the spiritual world is projecting, or should I say, learning not to project. And by this I mean not project your own crap, your own lessons, your own pain onto other people. And this can be very insidious, because when we're in lessons, and let's be honest, we're always in lessons, we have a tendency to see everything through that perception, yeah? But to be effective and truly help other beings, we have to accept who they are and where they are at this moment, and not project our own fear, worry, pain, trauma, whatever it may be, on top of them. Allow them to be where they are and allow them to have their own lessons. Even though you can see them in pain, when they're ready to make that change, they will ask for help. And when they are at the point where they can accept the help, then they will be able to have a lasting healing. And that's something else that actually people ask me too. How come you can have a Reiki session, have a dramatic healing, but it won't stick? Well, usually this is why. We're not ready to fully heal the issue or let go of the stuff that's our shield, our crutch, whatever it may be, that protects us. We think is protecting us, but it's not. We're not ready to accept it fully. Yeah, we have to, as healers, disentangle from other people's journey and let them contend with their own healing, and then allow them to learn the lessons in their own time, just as we have to learn our own lessons. And like I say, this is a really big, valuable lesson. But it's not black and white. It's actually kind of gray, because you know that, say you have a friend who is going down that path, or maybe partying a little bit too much and kind of letting work slip, and they're not paying their bills, and they're not doing the things that, are going to really help them. They're setting themselves up for failure later on. Is it really your business to interfere? Is it really your business to go in there and pay their bills? No, of course not. But as a friend, of course, go talk to them. Go tell them, hey, this is what I think. I'm your friend. I'm going to tell you. But allow them also to say no, leave me the hell alone, and still be their friend. If they ask for healing, of course, give it. But once again, it's not about you, it's about them, and that's disentangling from it, okay? So we don't help anyone when we try to remove all the discomfort and struggle from their journey. Just like this person that may be partying too much. Usually, the reason that they think they're doing it, maybe, they're bored, or they're breaking up with a spouse or something, but what's really the root issue? And it could be something that goes back to childhood. It could be something, something much deeper. Until they're ready to honestly look at it and heal the root cause, everything else is just the beginning layer. If you do help them, if you do put them on the table and help them, they have a great week, they have a great month, but then they go back to their old behaviors, don't judge it. Allow them to have the learning, okay? And honestly, interfering is something that we all do without thinking, because we're not even aware that we're doing it. We think that it's being compassionate. We think that it's being a good friend. We think it's being, a good sibling, whatever it may be. But honestly, we need to focus on our own healing and allow people to be where they are. Because helping, when asked, can greatly benefit someone on this path to healing. But as I said, removing all their obstacles eliminates their need to grow and learn. And if they don't learn coping skills or learn how to shift behaviors, how are they going to cope with things, when you move or when you're no longer there to help them? You're doing them kind of a disservice too. So also the other end of this is it can be very draining as you, because now you have sent Reiki to someone and wow, it's awesome and they're feeling so much better, and you did it, but you may or may not tell them. So are you going to watch the progress and keep sending them Reiki and keep monitoring the situation and basically dedicate your life to it? No, of course not, right? Because you don't have time. You've got to do your own healing. See? So yeah, it's an interesting question, isn't it? And it's something that I think a lot of people in the spiritual community don't really want to talk about, because there is that one school of if you can help, you should. And to some degree, I do believe that. And I've been there. I have gone in and I've helped anonymously a lot of situations. But then I was allowed to see that my helping actually didn't help. I got to see some situations unfold and see where I robbed people of lessons that would have altered the course of their journey, and it wouldn't have been so hard. So was I helping them? I thought so at the time, but looking back later, no, I wasn't. So leave me a comment and let me know what you think and where you are on this journey. Do you think you should help? Do you think you shouldn't? Do you think it doesn't matter that if you send Reiki and they don't accept it, it's fine? I mean, what do you think? What your experiences have been too? I'd love to hear them. Okay, Reiki blessings. Talk soon.